Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Dr. Baher Fuad, and the subject today is lessons we learn from the story of Ibrahim, Prophet Ibrahim in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to follow the way of Ibrahim. ثم أوحينا إليك أن اتبع ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين. Then we told you to follow the way of Ibrahim, who was pure and he never worshipped others besides Allah. So why did Allah tell us that? Because Ibrahim showed us many things. First, he talked to his people who were worshipping idols. إذ قال لقومه ما تعبدون قالوا نعبد أصناما فنظل لها عاكفين قال هل يسمعونكم إذ تدعون أو ينفعونكم أو يضرون قالوا بل وجدنا آباءنا كذلك يفعلون قال أفرأيتم ما كنتم تعبدون أنتم وآباؤكم الأقدمون فإنهم عدو لي إلا رب العالمين. He asked his people, these statues you are worshipping, do they hear you when you call on them? Do they benefit you or do they harm you? They said, no, we found our forefathers doing so, so we are following in their footsteps. He said, then you and your forefathers are ignorant, and these statues are an enemy to me, except for the Lord of the worlds. And then he explained to them why they should worship Allah. He said, الذي خلقني فهو يهدين. He is the one who created me and he guides me. والذي هو يطعمني ويسقين, and he is the one who gives me food and drink. وإذا مرضت فهو يشفين. When I get sick, he is the one who will cure me. والذي هو يميتني ثم يحيين, and he will cause me to die and then he will give me life again. والذي أطمع أن يغفر لي خطيئتي يوم الدين, and he is the one who I hope will forgive my sins on the day of judgment. Now, Quranic stories are not told in order to just entertain us. The goal of the Quranic story is to learn lessons, to learn morals from them. So when Ibrahim was arguing with these people and showing them that these statues cannot help them and cannot harm them, we get a lesson that we only should serve and worship Allah, who has all the power in his hand. It is only Allah who can help us when we are in difficulty, and it's only Allah who can hurt us when we disobey his orders. وإن يمسسك الله بضر فلا كاشف له إلا هو وإن يردك بخير وإن يمسسك بخير فهو على كل شيء قدير. If Allah touches you with harm or difficulty, no one can remove it except Allah, and if he touches you with some good, he has power over all things. الآية في سورة الأنعام وفي سورة يونس chapter 10 in the Quran. وإن يمسسك الله بضر فلا كاشف له إلا هو وإن يردك بخير فلا راد لفضله يصيب به من يشاء من عباده وهو الغفور الرحيم. If he touches you with difficulty, no one can remove it except he. If he destines some good to reach you, no one can prevent this goodness from reaching you, and he is the often forgiving and most merciful. So this is the lesson we learn. Also, when he told them who Allah is, he explained Allah's many blessings over us. He created us, he guides us, he provides for us, he helps us when we are sick, and he will cause us to die, and then he will resurrect us again in order to stand accountability. So we are accountable for everything we say and everything that we do. And he explained this further when he said, وَلَا تُخْزِنِي يَوْمَ يُبْعَثُونَ. يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. Do not shame me, humiliate me on the day they will be resurrected, the day that neither wealth nor sons will benefit, except the person who comes to Allah with a sound heart, a heart that has no jealousy, no hatred, no ill feelings, no grudges. That's the only heart that Allah accepts. Then, despite this, his people did not believe in him. قالوا حرقوه وانصروا آلهتكم إن كنتم فاعلين. They said, throw him in the fire and support your gods if you are going to do that. قلنا يا نار كوني بردا وسلاما على إبراهيم. And we said, O fire, be cool and safe on Ibrahim. So Allah is the only one who can help us. Then the other thing about Ibrahim is that he was obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the orders of Allah, he fulfilled his commandments. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ. Allah tested Ibrahim with certain commands and he fulfilled all of them. And he was willing to sacrifice his son. فلما بلغ معه السعي قال يا بني إني أرى في المنام أني أذبحك فانظر ماذا ترى قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين فلما أسلم وتله للجبين وناديناه أن يا إبراهيم قد صدقت الرؤيا إن كذلك نجزي المحسنين. الآيات في سورة الصفات chapter 37 the Quran. After all of this, Ibrahim immigrated from his home in Iraq to greater Syria. وقال إني ذاهب إلى ربي سيهدين. He said, I'm going to my Lord, he will guide me. فآمن له لوط وقال إني مهاجر إلى ربي إنه هو العزيز الحكيم. Surah Al-Ankabut chapter 29 in the Quran. Now, hijrah is done when we feel for ourselves, our families, our possessions, and we do not feel safe in one place, so we immigrate to a safer place. Or when we immigrate, when we fear for our faith, our religion, we want to worship Allah without oppression, and that's the meaning of hijrah. And Ibrahim immigrated as well as Prophet Muhammad immigrated from Mecca to Medina. He stayed in Mecca 13 years. Nobody or very few people believed in him, and he immigrated to Medina, and it was the blessing of Allah that he made Medina a base for Islam. Moses fled from Egypt to Midian, fearful for his life, and then when he came back to Egypt as a prophet, Allah gave him evidence of his prophethood. So this is the meaning of hijrah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us to immigrate if we are fearful for our faith. إن الذين توفاهم الملائكة ظالمي أنفسهم قالوا فيما كنتم قالوا كنا مستضعفين في الأرض قالوا ألم تكن أرض الله واسعة فتهاجروا فيها فأولئك مأواهم جهنم وساءت مصيرا. Now, to summarize what I tried to relate to you, we learn morals and we learn things we can follow from Quranic stories, like the story of Ibrahim, who was true in faith and we are ordered to follow his way, and he fulfilled Allah's commandments, and he explained to his people the folly of worshipping idols and why they should worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They threw him in the fire. Allah saved him from the fire. He immigrated to safeguard his faith. Astaghfirullah, innahu ghafurun rahim. If you feel that this was useful, tell others about it, please. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin.